Benn and I talked the other day about pressure being a privilege and how that kind of helps his team, you know, perform the best that they can. Do you kind of feel similar?
Yeah, I think all coaches with teams in the playoffs, you know, have pressure. You've obviously had a great regular season. It's impossible not to have a really good regular season and make the NHL playoffs. So, you know, you've got, you know, arguably on our side, 800-point teams if they, you know, play all year and they're healthy, and especially in our division, there's probably 500-point teams for sure. So, you know, and when you had a season like that, there's pressure to keep playing, regardless of who you're playing. You know, people don't want to hear, well, you know, you got two of the best teams in the league in the first round. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's pressure to keep playing and keep advancing. So, you know, I think your players have to embrace that.
Anything about Miro's status?
Yeah, out tonight.
Out tonight?
Yeah.
Same lineup?
Same lineup.
It's really hard to send a team home, the elimination game. What's the key to getting that done?
Yeah, I mean, you know what, you're absolutely right. You know, we did it last year here. It took double overtime in this situation to do it, and we had to play a hell of a hockey game. You know, and even then you don't know. I mean, you know, that series could have gone 7-2 last year easily. So for me, we've just got to concentrate on playing a good game tonight, a better game than we played in Game 4 here. That's my focus. I think if we can play a good game, that gives us a chance to finish it.
I think you mentioned at the start of the series that Jake Ottinger gets better as the series goes on. The numbers bear that out. What is it about his makeup that allows for that?
I just think it's you know, when you know Jake, it's a mental toughness. I think it's a competitiveness to rise to the occasion. The more important the moment gets, you know, he's got that. You know, I can remember, and I'm not comparing him to Marty Brodeur when I tell you this story, but you know, I think great goalies have that mindset where they raise their level at the most important time. You know, the year we went to the Stanley Cup final when Marty was a 40-year-old goalie for me in New Jersey, you know, I saw it multiple times, but I remember, you know, we were down in the first round that year to Florida and had to come back and win Game 6 in overtime, Game 7 in double overtime, and both nights, regardless of what the score had been or what had happened during that game, you know, he found another level at the most important times, and you realized, you know, why he had the career he had. So, you know, I think great goaltenders have that mental edge where they raise their level, you know, at those times.
Do they have a similarity in personality behind the scenes? Like, the only thing I can think of, like, Marty Brodeur would hold court with the media in the morning skate, and Jake will talk.
Yeah.
And a lot of goalies don't. Like, but that's all I get to see. Is there something you see?
No, you know what? No, I mean, you know, I think. Listen, I had Marty at 40. He was very comfortable in his own skin. He was already a Hall of Famer. He'd already won and done everything. You know, maybe Jake will be that guy at 40. He's not yet, and he shouldn't be. You know, he's still trying to prove himself. But you know, there's, you know, that mental piece is a big piece with a starting goalie.
Your top guys last game had that response. You were waiting for them to show up. They did. I guess, are you guys, I don't want to say bracing, are you guys preparing to have the Avalanche's top guys, some of their guys that haven't really produced yet, come out in a game like that?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? This is what I know. I know we're going to get their best game, you know. And, you know, I'm assuming we're going to get the same game they played in Game 4 here. And so it's on us to make sure we're more competitive. You know, I don't know. You know, I'm going to assume they're going to be really good, and we're going to have to be a lot better than we were in here in Game 4 in order to have a chance.
What's your stress level like on a day like today on an elimination?
Pizza?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it depends what, you know, listen, it's like the players, it's different when you're on this side of the elimination than on the other side, for sure. You know, and that's just human nature. You know, you've got another day to coach. if things don't go well. So, I think when you're facing elimination like that, it's tough. There's no doubt it's stressful. I think it's critical though as a coach, and this experience kind of teaches you that you've got to be the composure. You've got to be the guy that looks unflappable. Because your group's feeling those butterflies.
Any update on Jason Robertson, just because we haven't asked in a while?
Yeah, skating, doing a little more every day. I would say he's definitely not week to week. I would call him more day to day now. He's starting to get into that area, so he's still got some hurdles to go.
Any update on Nils Lundqvist at all? Is he skating with Jason?
He is, yeah. I don't know. And I mean, listen, when Nils had that surgery, it was season ending was the terminology. I guess if we play deep enough into the playoffs, they might revisit that, but we're not in that neighborhood.
I know one player on the Colorado side that has left people wanting is Cale Makar, but you have a say in that too, and how you prepare your players to shut down a player like that. What goes into the attention that you pay a player like Cale Makar?
I would say, our pre-scouts would be 80% Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, and trying to minimize the damage they do. That's the reality. I mean, that's the engine that drives that team, and we all have, both teams have depth, but we've played this team a lot of times in the playoffs, and if you don't have detail to your game when those two guys are on the ice, and they're going to make you look bad. So we spend a lot of time on that.
You caught this arena at a high in Game 4, one of the loudest that I think we've heard in a while. What is it about this arena that makes it such a cool place to play hockey?
Yeah, well, it's a great fan base. I think similar to Dallas. They're engaged in the game. They're not sitting. It's not a corporate crowd. They're here to enjoy the game and get involved in the game. And I would say the Game 3 too, with the Landeskog coming back, how loud it was at the beginning there, and then obviously Game 4. I mean, I think you got two great buildings. Dallas, I feel, has a similar feel.
Great.
Hey, thank you.
We'll do the right shoulder scrum right outside. We'll open the room shortly after players get off the ice.
It's a sprint of 2 weeks, and every day you try to get better as a group. Every day you got a new challenge, new opportunity, and try to stay in the moment.
We annoy you with questions about why this, why that, but when you look back, is there any reason for period 2 in Game 4, or is it just things happen and then you just move on to the next one?
Yeah, you gotta. It's playoffs, right? Everyone talks about it all the time. You gotta have that even keel.
Be a goldfish.
It's pretty crazy how you could win a game or score a goal and you feel like you're not going to lose a game, and then you lose you come in here last time and you lose, and you're like, is this over? There's so many things that you can go through your head. So you just got to try to find that neutral ground, and it's almost like a fresh start here, tonight and on the road back here again, and got to win one to move on.
You guys don't care about these numbers, but since this coaching staff came in, on the road, you guys are number 1 in record, number 1 in goals for, number 1 in goals against in the regular season. So 3 years of that, and then 7-4 in the playoffs. Is there something they do or you do on the road that makes you successful?
It's news to me, all those numbers.
I know.
That's stuff for you guys.
That we play around with.
All the talk of the pressure, that's stuff for you guys. We're focused on one game tonight. Nothing's happened over the last 3 years that it's going to make that much of a difference, right? It's all about one game. So we start with our first shift in the first period.
Thank you.
Mikko, what's the mood? Chance to move on to the next round tonight. What's the mentality, Mikko?
Yeah, it's just another game. I think we reset it, reset the mindset after last game. Can't get in the playoffs. It's important to not to get too high, not to get too low when you lose games or win games. So just another game, 0-0. It starts from 0-0, so we're just getting ready mentally, and it's going to be a tough one because obviously we can expect them to play their best game of the series, and we got to match the intensity and the desperation.
What was it like? I mean, obviously last year you were on the other side when they won a double, or this team won a double overtime. Just kind of weird that it's how it's transpired. And what's it like this building that loud? I mean, what's it like playing like an elimination game here? You were a part of it last year.
Yeah. Well, it's a loud building like we've seen in this series too, you know, especially with Landy coming back and a lot of hype from the crowd, which is understandable. He was out for a long time, but it's a tough building to play at. So another game where we gotta have a good start and have a good first, you know, and just think about that, nothing else.
Through 5 games, I guess now going into 6, how do you feel about your game personally so far?
Yeah, I think it's better and better. You know, every game has been a little bit better than the other one, so hopefully can continue that trend and help the team.
Does it help knowing your opponent so well? Is there tips that you can kind of lend to these guys knowing some of these tendencies?
Yeah, a little bit, but I think every coach can see the film and you know, maybe I can give some inside things, but I think you can see in the film that how teams play but obviously if some tendency of certain players, maybe I can help with that. We've played with some guys for a long time, but I think coaches have it pretty dialed in, I would say.
It's kind of been long enough for fans here to start booing you a little bit. They were booing and you came forward. What's that like for you?
It's okay. I understand. I'm playing another team and it's a playoff series, so yeah. It was obviously the regular season game, the video, that's all I remember. So now I'm just shutting all the noise down and just try to focus on helping the team win.
Coach DeBoer said that you guys should expect the Avs best tonight. How do you combat that?
Yeah, like I said, you know, the desperation level that they're going to play with, you know, like we've seen in the other series, you know, like Toronto was up 3-0 and, you know, Ottawa has, you know, they're playing backs against the wall and they're playing their best hockey of the year. So we can expect that desperation and intensity, like I said, you know, and we got to be ready to match it. You know, it's not easy to close out a series ever, especially against a really good team like this. So I think desperation level has to be the highest.
Goaltending's been a huge part of this series, both Blackwood and Ottinger playing some of their best games. What are your kind of comments on, you know, how that's played a part in the series?
2 really good goalies, I would say. You know, they battled head to head really well. Both of them are making big saves, and obviously Jake has been huge for us. You know, keeping us in the games and sometimes protecting the lead when we're giving up chances, because obviously the other team, you know, they a lot of firepower, so they're gonna create some chances eventually. You know, we gotta try to defend hard, but Jake has been really good.
Thanks, Mikko.
Obviously, we have some new additions as well, so every game is you know, another opportunity to make a difference, and you know, a big one tonight.
You guys have been one of the best road teams in the league for 3 years of regular season. So I know the numbers are just numbers, but is there something you guys do on the road that helps you win games? Is it just repeating the same stuff? I know you like to use it. Pete likes to use 4 lines, 3 deep pair. It seems like that helps a lot on the road.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just roll, and you know, we play a pretty simple game on the road. You know, from top to bottom, and then goalie out. And, I don't know why we're so good on the road the last couple of years, but it's working, so we're not going to change it.
He's not a big matcher. Does that help? I mean, you seem to play the same game at home as you do on the road.
Yeah, I think that could be part of the reason why we're good on the road, is that we just roll top to bottom. A lot of trust in our 4 lines and our 3 deep pairs, and obviously our goalies. So it could be part of the reason.
And what do you like about morning skates? Do you usually generally out? Do you like the routine?
Just moving around. Not getting any younger here, so get the body moving, and I just like to feel the puck in the morning and get going.
Do you feel the altitude here, though? Not really?
Not really, no. Lots of talk about it, but when you're in the moment and in the middle of a shift, you're not thinking about that.